Kim, tell us what's on your radar.
Well, just how effective has Joe Biden's federal vaccine mandate actually been? Well, if you ask Joe Biden, it's going extraordinarily well.
But don't take it from me, not from some liberal think tank this comes from, but here's what Wall Street's saying. Goldman Sachs, quote, vaccinations will have a positive impact on employment. It means less spread of COVID-19, which will help people return to work. Moody's on Wall Street. Vaccination means fewer infections, hospitalizations, and death. In turn, it means a stronger economy. One economist called vaccine requirements, and I quote, the single most powerful, he didn't say single, the most powerful economic stimulus ever enacted, end of quote.
The most powerful economic stimulus ever enacted. That is quite the statement. If you remember, on September 9th, Biden announced his plan to coerce 80 million people into getting the vaccine or lose their jobs. The mandate, which goes into effect November 22nd, requires all federal employees and contractors, as well as any employee of a company with more than 100 workers, to get the jab. There is a weekly test option for the employees of private companies, but no testing option for the federal workers and contractors, even if the contractor works from home. Now, as a result of the mandate, more people have obviously gotten vaccinated. I mean, if you threaten people with their livelihoods, many people will cave and will choose to pay their bills and put food on the table. But despite Biden insisting the mandate is a powerful economic stimulus that's getting the country back on track, many people have chosen to quit their jobs. And as a result, we're now seeing an unprecedented shortage of workers across a variety of essential industries: hospital workers, home health care aides, police officers, firefighters, pilots, border patrol, port workers, truck drivers. Industries that were already facing worker shortages for a variety of reasons are now seeing major disruptions due to workers resisting the mandates. There is now a historic healthcare worker shortage from vaccine mandates across the country. In Virginia, the top 5 hospitals have had to stop accepting psychiatric patients. A Rhode Island hospital has been forced to close part of its ER. A maternity ward in upstate New York has stopped delivering babies. 60% of nurses are reportedly thinking of leaving Oregon's largest hospital. Hospitals in rural Texas are at risk of being shut down. And on top of this, nursing homes and home health care aides are resigning, causing a massive shortage. Seattle is looking at letting 40% of its police force go. And in Los Angeles, the sheriff's department says it can't enforce the mandate because it can't afford to lose any of its officers. Now, this might be welcome news to those who want to defund the police, but the issue doesn't stop with the police. The country is also facing a major firefighter shortage. The nation's supply chain has already been in a dire situation. We have a trucker shortage and a lack of port workers that's causing dozens of cargo ships to be waiting at sea. And the vaccine mandates have exacerbated an already bad situation. It was hard enough to find workers for these jobs. Now with the mandates, that search has worsened. And over the weekend, Southwest Airlines canceled or delayed over 1,800 flights, claiming weather problems, which somehow didn't affect any other airline. Rumors are the pilots of the airline staged a sick out over the mandates, which caused the widespread disruption, and now people are stranded. So not being able to get a hospital bed because of a nursing shortage, not having police show up when a crime is being committed, not having enough firefighters put out a burning house, being stranded at an airport, and not being able to get necessary household items all seem to be a far cry from vaccine mandates getting the economy back on track. They seem to be doing the exact opposite. Now, going back to Biden quoting Moody's on Wall Street, they claim vaccination means fewer infections, hospitalizations, and deaths, which means a stronger economy. But we know the people who are filling up the hospitals are overwhelmingly over the retirement age of 65. This and the fact that the mandates are required even for people who work from home, truck drivers who work alone, and also for people who have robust natural immunity makes more and more people wonder how much of this is about following the science or just political strong-arming. So, Robbie, it doesn't look like these mandates are really working in the way that Joe Biden hoped. I mean, saying that, this is getting the economy back on track. And we're just seeing sort of mayhem and utter collapse of industries. I mean, not being able to deliver babies in certain hospitals, not being able to be admitted to others. And a lot of that, we've heard a lot of talk about, it's because of COVID patients filling up hospitals. And a lot of the hospitals are saying, actually, it's because we don't have staff for the beds. We have the beds. We don't have the staff.
Right.
And, so this is just kind of causing a problem on top of a problem. How do we even fix this?
It's funny, if a bunch of public employees resign or quit because they don't want to get vaccinated, Biden will inadvertently be the most libertarian president of all time. He'll accomplish what Reagan, Bush, Trump never could in firing a bunch of government workers inadvertently, which I think is funny. It's just funny that this is how it's going about. But yeah, no, I'm against these, especially because it doesn't make any sense. Look, if you're going to create the strongest case for doing vaccine mandates, there is no reason not to exempt people who've already had the disease and don't want to get vaccinated. We know from looking at the data, they have just as much protection. Maybe it's a little weaker, maybe it's a little better. I don't think it's totally clear yet, but it looks pretty solid. So if I was going to construct the best case for doing mandates, which I don't support, but if you're going to do them, you should certainly do that, and they haven't done that. Then it's just become, so what is this about? This is about the government can tell you to tell your employer to make you do this just to push you around. I mean, months ago, Biden said he didn't think he could do a federal mask mandate. It's like people like CNN were demanding that, right, when he was incoming as president. And he said he didn't think he could do that. But he thinks he can require people to get vaccinated? If he didn't have that power, why does he have this power? So it makes no sense. And I think people are very frustrated and very sick of it. And just the things you've talked about. Well, what does this mean? They have to get a booster shot too, and then the booster to the booster, and so on and so forth. I just think it's unending if you accept this.
Well, and it's just not helping. I mean, that's the biggest issue, is that even, as you mentioned many times, is that the mandates, you get a mandate and you think, or the promises that have been made, this is just kind of one more of those failed promises where they said, okay, if you get the vaccine, then you can go about your life. You don't have to wear your mask. You can have your Christmas with your family. And that ended up being a failed promise. And now with these mandates, which is, okay, we're going to get the country back on track. And then over the weekend, you've got Southwest Airlines collapsing, essentially, 1,800 flights being canceled. And now apparently there's rumors that other airlines might have the same sort of thing happening to them. And we're also hearing rumors of Amtrak, rumors of American Airlines, rumors of, police departments and firefighters and hospitals going under. I mean, these are essential services. And to have these going under like this is the exact opposite. And so it's just one more of those, 2 weeks to stop the spread. And then what happened? We had to go on and on and on and on with the lockdowns. Okay, wear the masks and everything goes back to normal. And that didn't happen. Get the vaccine, everything goes back to normal. Okay, mandate them and everything goes back to normal. This isn't ending. And it is causing so much frustration. And clearly the people just aren't buying it. We need everybody, especially in the healthcare field right now. People are already resigning out of just exhaustion. And, and then we add this on top of it, we're just losing people. So this is causing mayhem. It's not working. But I wonder do you think the administration is going to be able to backpedal on this and say, okay, never mind? Or do you think they're going to double down? No,
they're never going to admit they're wrong, and they're never going to stop listening to whatever. Like Dr. Fauci is the federal government at this point, right? That man is not going to admit that mandates aren't working. The public health establishment loves the new power it has and will never willingly give it up. So to backpedal would be an admission of failure or an admission that they've used this power irresponsibly, and they are never going to do that because it would lead to too much blowback in terms of the power that we've given them, and they don't want to give that up.
Well, and meanwhile, we're seeing other countries not mandating or even going backwards, and saying, okay, we're lifting these restrictions and we're lifting, so we're going in a different direction than a lot of the other countries around especially like Scandinavia and the UK. And so it's kind of one of those things where unless the entire world is, and I mean the entire world, is on the exact same page on how to handle this.
Right. That's never going to happen. Right. That's just never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll have.
All right, Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to your radar, and that's coming up next.